Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great, you're go.
And we're rolling, Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Wow. Hey, great.
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, 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 welcome to the Saturday Morning State Line Show.
The way I see it, Tom, we all drew the very same sun in the corner of the page as a kid. I'm Greg. He's Tom. It's your Saturday Morning State Line Show. The 21st day of October, the year 2023.
The latest it has ever been. Oh, I'm sorry. I stepped on your line. In the history of mankind.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you filled that in.
I ran out of yellow crayon, so I actually drew a green sun.
Ooh.
Yeah, my page was not very warm.
Yeah. Does that make you sci-fi before there were Star Wars or something?
I was sci-fi before it was cool.
Something like that. We've got a packed show for you and the person still sleeping next to you. So wake them up, give them a little elbow and say, hey, Saturday Morning State Line Show is on.
Ain't nobody next to me right now except a bunch of teddy bears.
Well, they're all kind of sleeping too. Wake up, teddy bears. Wake up, teddy bears. We got stuff to do. We got stuff to say. We got stuff to show
teddy
you.
Bear right there.
But before we get anywhere at all, let's see if we can't. I'm trying something a little different today with my screen. It shouldn't look any different on your screen, but I'm trying something different on my screen. So if you see any mistakes, it's because Greg's trying to fail forward, fail fast, make mistakes, learn things.
It looks like almost glossy. It's cool. It's cool, but it looks different. Like you got a plexiglass in front of you.
Let me get rid of that right now, and then let me get rid of this and start that. Boom. Our big number of the week, race to 10. We've gone 2 weeks in a row where Tom and Joann have not scored a point. I love it. Yes, it's finally working. My diabolical plan to keep this game going for weeks and weeks without a winner. Joann did win the last one, though, by the way, by a final score of 10-8.
Oh, wait. I need more salt for the wound. Go ahead. Pour salt. Go ahead. Pour more salt. Okay.
You're welcome. This week's big number of the week is 2,749. Your answer is California or collection. California or collection. We will give you the answer before the end of the show. And got a bunch of stuff to share for you this week. Had a bunch of shout outs that I want to get to. And I'm debating whether or not I think I want to get to our guests right away and save the shout outs for later.
Let's do it. And I sent you mine. I sent you mine.
Awesome. All right. Tom's got his guest in. I have guests ready and standing by because it's INCROWD week this week, and Owen is going to be hosting out at Flanders Insurance, and John Berlin says, yeah, sure, that's our guy over there. Owen, right above my head. See? Look
Morning,
at that.
guys.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Good. How you?
Good. We'll be fine as long as the internet connection stays solid for the rest of the show.
Right.
That'll be the goal. Flanders Insurance is the place to be this Thursday night. And Owen is the guy who runs all things Flanders over there on Lyford Road. You've been out there for how long now, Owen?
Flanders has been at this location since 1980. Flanders started, there's some different books up front, but some of them say 1927 and some say 1926 here in Rockford. Their first contract was with a company that was Standard Mutual, and they were housed in the same office over on State Street. Standard Mutual has since been bought by Nat General, which has since been bought by Allstate.
Wow.
And I am the third owner of Flanders Insurance. There was a Gary Flanders, not a Ned Flanders, originally owned. And then it was purchased by Les Reed.
We talked about that before the show.
Yeah. Sure.
Ned Flanders. Hey, Lyford Road. My goodness, you had to have been out there when there was nothing but sticks and trees and goats and deer, right?
Well, I bought it 12 years ago, but there still are plenty of coyotes and sticks and corn. The hospitals to the north of us, the casinos to the south of us. We started developing the land next door with self-storage facilities here. We bought 10 acres on this, so. But yeah. So Tom, you're talking about sci-fi cool.
Sci-fi. You ever Green Sun too?
Captain Kirk, sci-fi cool.
Oh, wow. That is cool.
We just had William Shatner on our show.
The bridge of the Enterprise.
Dang, I like it. So you're a real Star Wars fan, right? No,
Right. Yeah, I saw you. You were R2D2.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I saw that.
We have people yelling at us now all over the world. We're like, what's wrong with you people? You're saying the wrong things.
I know. Everybody knows it's Stargate. Come on. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. The in crowd for 2023, we have one more, what would you call, regular season in crowd before we get to the playoffs, John?
Pretty much, yeah. We run January to October, so yeah, we are the last game of the regular season, and December comes our playoffs, and then we wrap up 2023.
And it's been quite a year. It's been. I think I would like to refer to it as the year we all got our feet back underneath us. Things got back on track. All the COVID crap has been done, and we're through with all that stuff, and people have been back to meeting. Things are back on track to where we would have been in 2020 had 2020 not turned into 2020.
Oh, totally agree with you on that, Greg. And you go back. It's been many years since we saw a lot of faces, and that really came out in the February event, where there was faces we hadn't seen in 6, 7, 8 years. And when you start seeing some of those, and then you just we build this out as the year of change, year of difference, and it has definitely been that this year, in so many different facets. And it's been an exciting year, and had its challenges as usual, but I wouldn't take it any other way.
Well, Owen, you get to be the final regular season in crowd this year, and what can we expect on Thursday out at your place out at Flanders?
Well, we'll have some snacks and usual camaraderie that we always have here when we get together for in crowd. So. But it has been good to be back in meetings and be back networking with people and getting on the business. I know a lot of people have said the summer's gone by so quickly, and that's because everything's going on every weekend. Everyone has lots of choices to go from.
Right.
And in our industry right now, John can attest to this, but we're in what's called a hard market, and we've got companies pulling out. Companies putting the brakes on new business. They've been hit by a trifecta of Midwest storms and coastal storms and rising costs of building materials and catalytic converters. I was on a Spotify podcast, and the question was raised: how many catalytic converters need to get stolen in the country to raise auto rates as much? And it was like 3 million catalytic converters in 2022 were stolen. It's just things we haven't seen before.
Right. Yeah, it's after years of fairly stable insurance rates, we hit with this year. That's, like you said, it's a trifecta of problems. So everyone budget.
Well, how about the newest thing, the Kias? The Kias and Hyundais. We drive a Kia, and I'm like, wow, we better watch it. We better park it in the driveway and put a couple guard dogs on it, because I heard my wife was telling me 39 of them just in the last couple of weeks in my neighborhood alone, or in this area alone, or something like that. Don't quote me on the figure, but that's got to be driving up insurance rates as well.
Well, we saw this. We've seen this in the past, but not like this. They're actually starting to put binding restrictions on Kias. Progressive is requiring a steering wheel lock. Actually, remember the old steering wheel locks? They're requiring that for new business. So if you got a Kia, I mean, you might want to double check before you look at changing insurance, as long as you got renewed.
Mm-hmm. At least those things aren't crazy, awful expensive. The steering wheel locks are fairly inexpensive, but it is kind of a pain to have to deal with that every day.
Yeah, and I heard City of Chicago was thinking about suing Kia for not fixing the problem. I don't know if that went anywhere. I heard that on a talk show in Chicago the other day when I was driving through.
I did hear that too.
I decided to put a club in my front seat, and what it is, it's an old turkey club sandwich. And when they open the door, it smells so bad they run. So problem solved.
See, there's all kinds of solutions. You just got to be
telling
creative.
Just buy the Kia with the stick shift, because the kids can't drive the stick shift today.
That's true. You're
So
right.
true.
Bring back.
You'll get it 4 feet out of your driveway, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Don't leave it.
We had a motorcycle at our last INCROWD event out there at Harley, and the challenge was to try to keep it running. I got into second gear, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm just gonna back it off now and be done. I feel successful, and then someone else got up there and installed it in first gear. I was like, all right, see, it's not easy. It's not easy to do. So hey, as we wrap up the INCROWD season, December, of course, is going to be a fundraiser event, which I think I can let a little bit of the cat out of the bag. It's going to be in Cherry Valley or Belvedere.
It's going to be in Belvedere at Wild Cherry, right there on Route 20. And they've got a whole separate room towards the back. I've been over there, checked it out and everything. It's going to be a great event. And, Chris and Elizabeth Solly have put a lot of work into getting this done and making it, one of the best that we've had. And it's going to be a good time. It's definitely going to be a really good time. It's I think it's going to be the icing on the cake of what's been a very good 2023.
Yeah. Elevated Health Essentials. Chris and Elizabeth are going to be handling the fundraiser event this year, that first Wednesday in December. And if you want to help out, raise money for Mosaic, they are collecting stuff at their office for gift baskets and stuff like that. I think they're going to do like silent auction type stuff and a bunch of different things. So we'll be promoting that big time here, social media from through the next month as we get ready for that. But this coming Thursday, the last time we were out at your place at Flanders, I think we got lucky and had nice weather, and we could actually hang out outside. Hopefully, we'll have the same thing this year.
Yeah, I didn't order the DJ like we did last time, but my fiance is going to bring her speaker. She's a good DJ. So, but yeah, that was a fun time. I wanted to do that again, but she kept going back and forth with, I don't know if you want to have a car show. We don't know what the weather's going to be like. It's like, I like car shows. So maybe we'll do one in the summertime.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, it's nice to have Flanders on board on INCROWD, and looking forward to everything on Thursday. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the event Thursday, or just the insurance industry in general, Owen?
Be gentle with your insurance agents. We're having as much as a difficult time as anybody else. They're still hybrid work from homes, and it's I'm not used to that. I've been doing this 28 years. I think John's doing it longer, but it's not used to not getting a phone call back for 24 hours, and it's 3-4 days sometimes. But we'll figure it out.
Good point. It's a good point.
That's a mild understatement of what's going on in this industry, and it's and the tough part is they're not communicating some of the decisions they're making. I'm finding out from the clients' decisions that the companies are making, and yesterday I had 2 phone calls or 2 text messages. It's like, did you know about this? Like, no.
Yeah.
So it's tough times, all the way around and all the way through. So it's definitely be kind to your insurance agent.
We've always encouraged our clients on the real estate side. We've always encouraged our clients to, shop around a little bit, talk to a couple different agents when it comes to getting your homeowner's insurance. And usually getting, for a first-time home buyer, usually getting your homeowner's insurance from the same company you're getting your auto insurance from, you're going to get some sort of break. That's normally the case. Who knows what the case is anymore? You want to the way things are with the insurance rates going up, you still want to talk to a couple different agents and find out what you actually need and shop around a little bit.
Yeah, one of the scripts I heard when I was down in our convention, everyone's calling around saying, hey, I got my renewal and it's up 30%. And one of the other agents changed the script to say, I'm glad you got a renewal. You should be too, but we'll see what we can do.
It's funny you bring that up, because my niece called me the other day and she's like, everything went up $600-700. And I says, Abby, you got to be thankful that you still have stuff. I said, because we're getting non-renewal letters on companies from people who haven't had any problems, because as you said, Owen, they're getting out of the business, and some companies have been around longer than all of us put together, and they're walking away from the industry, and it's definitely a tough time right now.
Yeah, we were talking before the show. I don't know if, John, you heard Secura on Thursday said they're done. They're pulling out of the personal markets. Kemper's pulled out now.
No.
Yeah, Kemper's the one who didn't tell me.
Yeah, me neither. I just got a cancellation.
I got no notice.
Yeah, I just got a cancellation. I thought it was production, and we called up and said, "What's the problem?" They said, "We're not doing personal lines anymore."
Yeah. How I found out is Fran and I got home Sunday, and she was going through the mail, and she's like, "Did you know about this?" I had no clue.
Yeah, I just got a termination letter. I thought it was production. I mean, we had a decent book with them, but yep, found that out. Nationwide, no new business. Pekin, no new business. A couple of the companies are open for business, but the fear is that they're just going to get heavily dumped on, and they might put the brakes on too. So everyone's saying 6 to 12 months. Well, I think after we get through this presidential election, the markets calm down a little bit, and everybody figures out what track we're going on. Hopefully, it all settles down. We've seen this before.
The unfortunate thing too, to spin off of what Greg said, is you're right. Packaging was always the thing to do.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily going to be the case anymore, because you're going to have some that you're going to have to put the home over here and the auto over here, and wish for the best.
Yeah.
When you say packaging, is that the same thing as bundling?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just going by the commercials.
Yeah.
Will we see fewer commercials now? There's a good question. We're going to see fewer insurance commercials. I think we might.
Well, you haven't actually. I was watching a football game, and I got done with it and didn't see any commercials for insurance at all.
Somebody check on Peyton Manning. He might need. He might need some. He doesn't need any help. He's hosting.
You're not going to see a Nationwide commercial. I mean, you're just not.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we will look forward to seeing you on Thursday, and hopefully a decent crowd at the final INCROWD regular season INCROWD of 2023 before the big event in December. And thanks for carving out time and joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Flanders Insurance is the place for the INCROWD October. That's this coming Thursday. And
Dude, I really missed the theme. I want to play the theme.
Yeah. It's on my little social media post.
All right.
But you're not on social media, so I can't do
All right,
that.
Gregors, I will make you not really. I will make you a promise. If and when, I know you had talked about you were going to be, I think this was out there for the public, you were going to be taking over as am I right?
Yeah,
I don't want to go too far with it if you
2024.
haven't said
It's all on me to run INCROWD.
Okay. I don't know how much I could commit to, but I would be more than willing on occasion to come and play some music. Just come.
That'd be cool. There's going to be a couple events where that will make sense, and a couple of them that it really won't. So we'll start to map that all out there soon.
Right. Otherwise,
and
yeah. Now, and that of course has to jive with my schedule as well, because I do a lot of trivia 3 nights a week. Thursday's the only night I get to play. I will gladly sacrifice playing once in a while if it's
well, we're hoping that one of our events next year we can actually make a trivia night, and it might end up being that it's not a Thursday night event, and it might be a completely separate INCROWD at a separate, maybe there will be a month in 2024 when we do 2 events, and one of them will be a trivia night thing, just totally separate.
I would love it. I would,
because we would
probably
register
a Friday night, or I'm sorry to interrupt. A Friday or a Saturday would probably work great for me, or a Sunday afternoon, something like that. Non-football season.
Our next guests, we've got a couple more guests, but I think they're going to be on the same screen if they are all still together. The Veterans Drop-In Center, they do an event every year, and they've been doing it for about 11 years now. And Eric and Sean are the guys out there at the Veterans Drop-In Center. Let's see if I can put them on the screen properly so we can all see each other. Bum, bum, bum. Musical screens. How about that, guys?
Good.
You're making me dizzy,
That's all
Greg.
part of my plan. Making you dizzy. The
Mhm.
Veterans Drop-In Center, Eric and Sean, you guys have been over there on 4th Street now for a number of years. And before we get into your event that's coming up, why don't you guys tell us a bit about the Veterans Drop-In Center? What is it that you guys do?
Yeah, hey, thanks for having us on today. Yeah. So over at the Veterans Drop-In Center, we help connect veterans with their benefits, including essentials like food, employment services, housing. So that's one of the key things that we do there at the center, and we're there 5 days a week doing what we do.
Awesome. And how many veterans do you guys see and serve here in the Rockford area?
Well, it's interesting because you mentioned history. We started in 2009. Pat Ambrose began all this by creating an organization to help homeless people in Rockford when she retired from the Red Cross running the homeless shelter. And then within 2 years, she switched from focusing on homeless to focusing on veterans.
Okay.
And in 2016, we moved from being part of a space in a church to our own building, which was donated by the city. It was a condemned building. A wonderful grant from Home Depot helped fund the renovation. The trade unions came in and assisted with renovating the rest of the core of the building, and it's been a wonderful facility since, helping veterans. And so the history is important, and I think the present is equally important, but the future is where we're going to all live. And so we're switching from, you asked how many veterans, so we might see 30 different veterans a day in there, but we have 19,000 veterans in Winnebago County. Where are they? And we've now made a switch, thanks to our board of directors, from old people like me, Vietnam veteran, to younger people like Sean. And when I was executive director following Pat's death, we tried to shift to serve more younger people and more women, veterans. And now Sean's the result of that. Maybe you can tell them something about you.
Yeah. So just recently, this past June, me and Eric did a flip-flop in roles. And I took over as the executive director, well, with a background in social work. One of the key things that we're able to provide the Veterans Drop-In Center is mental health. And that's one of the key things that we want to focus on, and whether that's veterans struggling through PTSD, substance abuse, or just mental health issues that they've had, their entire lives. So that's one of the key things, providing a space where veterans can come to. They can share their stories with other veterans, get some good food, share some stories, and kind of just get back on their feet. And the veterans that we do see at the drop-in center, they come in all different sizes, and from younger vets to older vets, different eras and generations. Kind of like Eric mentioned, he's a Vietnam veteran, and I'm post 9/11 veteran. So that's just one of the gaps that we fill there at the drop-in center, making sure we help service every generation of veterans, and moving forward and looking forward towards the future.
That's awesome. I love how you answered my question before I even asked it, because that's exactly what I was going to ask you guys. Well, the age gap. Most of us, my dad was a Vietnam veteran as well. And most of us that think of veterans, we think of the older guys and some gals that served quite a while ago. But there's a lot of young vets with totally different needs than the older vets. I'm hearing different stories of they faced different things. Yes, war is war, and it's hell, and it sucks. But the methods by which those things have happened have changed over the decades. So I'm sure your degree in social work is coming in handy to help folks.
Yeah, most definitely, and also being able to connect with the community and other agencies that kind of help us accomplish the things that we need to.
Awesome.
If I might add, part of our past has been the things that Sean mentioned. We serve meals, we have laundry facilities, we have shower for people who might be homeless and need laundry or just can't afford public laundry facilities. And so we do a lot of things there to help veterans. A lot of it is veterans might be in poverty or struggling or on the street. But the shift now is never leaving them behind. But also the shift is now to grow into more services and better opportunities for all veterans. And that's happening because we put together a group we refer to as the Veterans Leadership Team. And that Veterans Leadership Team started out with about 4 or 5 organizations, including Sean when he worked with the VA and other folks, which is now at 33 different organizations. We meet at Wednesdays at noon for lunch. By the way, that's how you get people to come to meetings. And that group have emphasis on
Food,
helping
yeah.
all veterans. We document who we're helping. We might meet together and say, now this veteran I'm helping with a job. Someone might say, well, I'm helping that same veteran prepare his resume. Someone else might say, well, I just got him an apartment lined up, so he's not in a shelter anymore, he's moving into an apartment. Another person might say, well, we have furniture and kitchen items in our storage, we can come through and help pull all that together. So the big thing for the future, before we get on to why we're here to talk about our big fundraiser, our 5K, the big thing for the future is to find a place in town where we can get all these support organizations who help veterans in one location. So we're seeking a co-located facility where we can share space. Doesn't have to be full-time for everything, but we're looking at bringing Veterans Assistance Commission, which is a county organization, in with the Veterans Drop-In Center, in with several organizations who I don't want to mention yet. But a veteran can go to one place and get help for everything.
A couple of quick thoughts here. There are a couple of, I was just talking about this with a couple of friends of mine, a couple of old Highlander buildings where you could probably separate out. And I think that'd be a
one of the
wonderful
key
facility.
features is where are the veterans that we help. A lot of them are downtown. So our ideal location is within walking distance of the bus terminal downtown.
Yeah.
But there are several that are on the bus
absolutely,
line that could also be considered. And if someone wanted to donate a building to us, well, we'd consider it somewhere else. But the ideal is downtown.
The way I understand it,
I'll donate my house if you take over my building. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So here's what I would like to say. Number one, Eric, I think you are kind of working on your comedy routine here. I think I see a comedy show in your future. But on a serious note, I thank both of you. My hat's off to you. I salute you for your service. Thank you so much. I know I speak for everybody when I say that. It is an unbelievable sacrifice to give 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 years of your life, and in many cases, sacrifice your life for your country. And I applaud that. As speaking of somebody, I was not a veteran. I tried to get into the Navy. I had a couple of health issues going on at the time. I went for the testing and all of that, and it just didn't work out for me. And I'm really sad about that. But my dad was a vet. He passed away about 6 years ago, and I hold this flag, and it sits right up amongst my teddy bears. That's how important it is to me. My dad was a wonderful, wonderful human being, my best friend for many years, and he had such fond memories of his time in the Korean War vet.
Well,
and I especially applaud, Eric, you agree from a lot of people. What's that?
I especially want to say thank you. I especially want to say thank you for the people like you who are family members of veterans, because we're going to hear for the next 2 generations a lot of Agent Orange issues in our children and our grandchildren.
Absolutely. And the other thing, the other point that goes with that is people simply don't understand how important it is to take care of our veterans, take care of them emotionally, physically, financially, whatever it takes, take care of our veterans. It is the lifeblood of this country, and that's not an understatement at all, or an overstatement. I mean, it's not. They are the lifeblood of this country, because in any war that we've fought, if we lose that war, we're speaking German, or we're speaking French, or we're speaking whatever. Speaking of World War II, Hitler would have taken over the world if we hadn't stopped him. So anyway, that's how important our military is. It protects us from the very thing that we love so much, and that's our First Amendment right.
Well, Greg's getting wrong
most important amendment.
We could run down all different kind of bunny trails. I do want to pull out of my hat stack that's from behind me.
All right.
My dad's Army hat.
Well, look at that. Look at that. All right.
And
pride.
Yep.
That's
pride in what we do, and pride in our country, and pride in serving. That's where we're
absolutely.
Now, about this fundraiser.
Well, the event that's coming up on November 4th is been going on now for at least 11 years, it looks like. 11th annual fundraiser, the 5K Run and Walk. And Mercy Sports Score 1 is the location, which is on Elmwood Road. That's out on the northwest side of Rockford. So most people, I think, these days think of Sports Score 2 with the great huge buildings over there by the hospital, because it's, you know, you see that maybe a little bit more often. But Sports Score 1, the original Sports Score, with all of the softball diamonds and
soccer
fields and the every other year floods that take place over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great location for this event. And tell us a little bit about the 5K, gentlemen.
Yeah, so this year's 5K should be the best one yet. And it's a family-friendly event, I want to know. So we want to get as many family members out there, veterans out there, every generation of veteran. If you don't like to run, you can most definitely walk. And if you can't do either of them, you could be a spectator on the side cheering on the racers. We've been working very hard over the past few months to get the word out there, to reach out to potential sponsors who want to help boost the event. And overall, so we could put on a good show for all of our participants and make sure that they continue to support us each year. And most importantly, to support the cause that we're there to do is to raise awareness for what we do as the Veterans Drop-In Center, but also raise awareness for some of the issues that veterans struggle with on a day-to-day basis.
We've got, looking at the details on here as far as what the sign-up process is. I put the link here in the chat, so those who are watching live, that's in the chat. Otherwise, just go to look up Veterans Drop-In Center.
Yep.
Facebook.
Yep.
Runner sign up.
Yep. Run sign up. Yep. On our Facebook, we have an events page on our Facebook, Veterans Drop-In Center.
I might add that it wouldn't exist without the sponsors. Eldridge Roofing has always been our biggest sponsor every year. We're also grateful. I have a shirt back here. I'll take that moment to show you, but WTVO.
Back in the day, look at that.
3917. You've all been supporters for a long time. We're grateful for that support. That's this event actually funds between 7 and 90% of our costs for the year. So it's an important fundraiser, critical one. We appreciate anyone coming out, walking and running. The things you can't see about veterans, you can't see that I have 2 titanium hips at this point, for example. You can't see that I'm missing a kidney from Agent Orange. You can't see the PTSD. But there's a lot of people out there where you can see a missing limb, issues with heart, issues with everything. So our sponsors, our participants who sign up all contribute to the success of this. Thank goodness for the volunteers, the donors who provide, give items to give away. We have a board of directors that work hard, and our staff. Without Sean and Lana, who lead the organization right now, it wouldn't exist. So our message is we love, we care, we help, and we share. And that comes back to us. When we help veterans, you would be surprised. There's not time now, but how much comes back to us. This isn't just about giving. It's about sharing.
That's awesome. And I'm sure you guys, just like other 5K events, need volunteers just to kind of stand along the route and make sure people are going the right direction. So you don't necessarily have to have any special skills to volunteer. Just step up and say, hey, I can spend a few hours with you guys out there on November 4th and direct people in the right direction, or maybe take people's registrations and stuff like that. But here's,
and like we have 200 flags we have to set up the night before up and down the road. There's always something to do.
Awesome. Well, the veteransdropincenter.com is the website. Probably best, though, to go to the Facebook page where the updated information is for the event itself. And I've got that link again in the chat here as well. So anything else, gentlemen, you'd like to add before we let you go on this beautiful Saturday in Northern Illinois?
Just that the sun came out while we were talking, and I only had the blinds halfway down, so I apologize.
This has been wonderful. Yeah.
We thank you very much for the support you're giving just by the exposure. It helps. We look for your audience to share with us and come enjoy the day. There are children's events. There's a kid run, which is a lot of fun to watch 3, 4, 5-year-olds in a race. This is a sanctioned race, so it's all professionally timed. The bibs, so even if we have 700 people who are walking and running, the bibs set the timing off when you cross the start line and shuts when you go across the finish line. For some people, it's 17 minutes. For me, it's about an hour.
And that's perfectly fine. That's the way.
The motivation is to get back before the coffee runs out.
There's a goal. You got to have a goal, Eric. And Eric.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you in your event. Again, November 4th is the date. Sports Score 1 is the place, and all the event information there on the Facebook page. For
Bright early in the morning, 8 o'clock, get ready, 9 o'clock, start.
Rain or shine.
Rain or
or snow.
That would make it eventful. That would make it interesting.
It's happened.
All right, gentlemen, you have a great rest of your weekend.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good Veterans Day to all the veterans out there coming up.
You as well, my friend. You as well.
God bless.
Eric and Sean with the Veterans Drop-In Center. Again, be sure and check out all the information on their webpage, and the Facebook page especially is the place you're going to want to go. Here is that banner again for what you'll see when you go to their Facebook page. And that should all be linked up there in the chat. All righty, good deal. Let's see if we have Joann standing by. I think we do. Joann at PAWS Humane Society. Good morning to you, friend.
Oh, she's all Halloweened up. I love it.
Woo! We've got.
I got my bowl of my bucket of candy.
Their Halloween festival.
My bucket of candy right here.
There's so much going on today, guys. We could. This is the day.
It's a busy time.
This is like the biggest day of the year as far as events go all across the region. So before we get to events, I do want to get to some shout outs here real quick. Thanks to some folks for making this last week interesting. Severs and Dells was having their Drinks in the Dells event last weekend, and because of the weather, they needed to move that inside. And thankfully, Pig Minds stepped up and said, yeah, you can be here. So we were inside Pig Minds Brewing up there in McChesney for the Severs and Dells event last week. And it was a wonderful time. Sampled a lot of different brews and heard a great group called the Van Dwellers. If you get a chance to see Van Dwellers perform somewhere, highly recommend it. These brothers, Tanner and Tyler, I think is their names, are so good. Really enjoyed that. Team Sold on Tony, Keller Williams Realty Signature, one of the big sponsors of that event last week. Also last weekend, I hosted an open house for the first time since like February. With the housing inventory so low, you don't really have to do open houses to, drum up business anymore. But we had a house in Rockford that we did need to have open. So I hosted an open house last Sunday, had a lot of people come through, met a lot of nice folks. And so if you are house hunting, that still might be an option for you as far as going to open houses and seeing the new stuff that's coming on to the market. And congratulations also to Brian, who got a deal. He's going to build a house, so he had to buy a lot so he could build a house, and he's getting that squared away soon. Rock River Valley Blood Center, we had them on the show recently, and this was my week to donate, so got a chance to go over to the Perryville location, which I don't normally do. I'm usually down at the Lockwood 6th Street area location, but due to my schedule, I was like, you know what? Perryville is going to be the more convenient one for me this time, and I went over there and enjoyed meeting some folks over there that I don't normally see.
I've been there a couple of times to the Perryville location. I always felt like I was cheating on the 6th Street location.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Pam. I'm sorry. I'll see you. I'll see you in a couple months, Pam.
Oh, and she'll let you know too.
I know she will.
Where did you go? No, that's not acceptable.
She'll give me some grief, and then she'll say, "I'm just glad you went, Greg. I'm just glad you went." Yeah. But the Perryville location. What was I going to say? Anyway, that's one of the spots you can go, and it's easy. And if you fill out the online form first, you can be in and I was in and out of there in like 35 minutes. It was very quick because I didn't have to sit down in front of the screen and do all the questions. I already did them on my phone. It speeds up the process. If you don't have 1 hour, if you only got about half an hour, 35 minutes, you can get it done if you do the online form first. I wanted to give it a shout out to Perryville Pet Hospital, taking care of Veda again this week for her annual checkup and visit and blood draw and all that stuff. And she's doing pretty well for the old gal that she is. We're very
How
happy.
old is she now?
At least 10, maybe closer to 12.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably closer to 12. But anyways, yes, got the whole annual thing taken care of, and the blood work was all okay. Want to shout out to Emily Bisson and her Grow Your Network Zoom networking this last week for the month. I met a guy known as the ADA Comply guy, and he's going to be on our show coming up here before the end of the year. Did you know your website for your business is supposed to be compliant to the ADA? There are ADA compliance requirements for websites.
We're talking about Americans with Disabilities Act, right?
That's right.
Okay. How would it not be
well, that's what we're going to ask him all about. So
wow.
The ADA Comply guy is going to tell us why he's been in business for 4 years, helping businesses make sure their websites are ADA compliant. And I think we're all going to learn something and go, I didn't think of that. So that's coming up in a few weeks. And then one last shout out for me this week is Christian Life Schools. They had their final home football game last night. They had a chance to become playoff eligible with a win. The Sobos of South Beloit came to town, and what a game it was last night, Tom. It was back and forth. And I told Bill Cash is our scoreboard guy, but the last 2 weeks our scoreboard has been shorted out. So this week we were using one of those score boxes with a timer that you might see at a wrestling match, or maybe a volleyball or a soccer game, but it wasn't this normal scoreboard. Had some issues with that, but we got through the game. Fourth quarter, we each team had scored 3 touchdowns, but the Eagles had converted their 2-point conversion each time. So it was 24-18, Tom. And we give the ball back to South Beloit, and I said, Bill, this game's going to overtime. He's like, shut up, Saunders. And
I can just hear him say that.
Yeah, that's right. So we're laughing. We have a good time up there in the Eagles' nest every football game. Sure enough, South Beloit scores a touchdown. It's 24-24. And I said, see, Bill, I told you, they run out their kicker. They're like, we failed 3 2-point conversions. We're going to try to kick the extra point. And wouldn't you know it, they sailed the thing through, and they won the game 25-24.
Wow.
What a game. Very exciting. The Sobos are 6-3 for the 8-on-8 football. They're playoff qualified now, not just eligible, but they should be in the playoffs. And the Eagles of Christian Life end the season at 4-5.
Yeah, okay, so the South Beloit Sobos, about 10 or 12 years ago, new building, new franchise, everything wonderful on Prairie Hill Road or whatever. Yeah. Gorgeous high school. Well, they won a state championship 10 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that. And now they're doing 8-on-8 football. I don't understand what's going on. I know the feeder programs are really losing out. A lot of parents don't want their kids playing football anymore. So that's a big part of it. But I can't imagine that with South Beloit. I know why Christian Life is going 8-on-8, because enrollments are down. And that stands to reason. Right. Times are tough. COVID really killed a lot of things. But for South Beloit, I mean, it's a growing area. Why are they doing 8-on-8 football?
They had enough guys. They had plenty of guys. So maybe next season they'll go back to the 11-man team.
Yeah.
But they did have plenty of guys on their sideline to field a full team. So
okay, I'm just curious.
We'll see how that goes back and forth. As I mentioned, there are so many events going on this weekend, guys, and we're going to go through a bunch of them right now real quick. Thanks to GoRockford.com. And also thanks to our unofficial SMS info sponsor, Altruize, the app that enables volunteers to track, verify, and maintain their own community service data for a lifetime. Altruize, there's the banner. Tell a better story, live a better life. Find the app in your favorite app store. Fall on the Farm weekend at Lockwood Park. 10 to 5 today and tomorrow. Admission wristbands are $10 per person per day. But they've got this big special weekend every fall. The colors are perfect right now. If you haven't taken a notice of what's happening to the trees in Northern Illinois, they are just all colored up. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. And they're even better in Wisconsin. I was up at Kruger Haskell Golf Course in Beloit. golfing with my buddy Ron on Thursday, and we both just did horribly, which is fine. But on hole number two or three, it was a par three, maybe a $165, 165 yards. I landed the ball 10 feet from the cup.
Woohoo!
My second shot, 1 inch from the cup. I missed a birdie by 1 inch, and then I tapped it in for a par, which was cool.
No golfing at Lockwood, but lots of fun stuff over on Safford Road. Lockwood.
Okay, I know. I went off on a bunny trail there, but my point was the trees were unbelievably beautiful.
Right.
That's what I was going to tell you.
Rockford Ice Hogs.
I'm the king of bunny trails, but
I like the bunny trails. I'm good with them.
Yeah.
Rockford Ice Hogs, they open up their season tonight at the BMO against the rival Chicago Wolves. 7:00 puck drop, and they've got a big block party going on before the game. The 25th season of the Ice Hogs in the state line, and 17th as a member of the American Hockey League, and now an affiliate under the Chicago Blackhawks. All kinds of renovations they did to the building again this year. It's going to be a big season. So go Hogs.
I was there for a game last year, and I tell you what, very, very impressed.
Well run.
It was a good game. It was, oh my goodness, it was cool. It was an experience. Loud, but man.
All Hallows Eve is today at Midway Village Museum. This was a huge event, over 3,000 visitors last year. They're expecting up to 4,000 this year. Between noon and 6 today, it is a cost again between $5 and $7. But the Victorian Village is all spruced up for Halloween. There's business sponsors all up and down giving out candy to the kids. So their other food and snacks will be available for purchase as well. Rain or shine, should be a nice day for it though today. Noon to 6, Midway Village Museum. They're basically trick or treat event last year again was absolutely huge, and they're going to expect a lot more people again today. Ethnic Heritage Museum, they got something free going on today. They're calling it the Children's Workshop Dia de los Muertos, celebrated every year November 1st and 2nd in Mexico and other Latin American countries and communities. Sugar skulls, mini ofrendas, tissue flower making, and edible skeletons, all part of that today at the Ethnic Heritage Museum at 1129 South Main Street in Rockford.
Edible skeletons. If you're a coyote, I suppose.
If you're looking for the fall family day up in nature at the Confluence, that's today as well from 11:30 to 1. Costs anywhere from $5 to $20. I think there's a family deal for $20, but otherwise it's like $5 per person. Nature at the Confluence beginning at 11:30. Kids story time, Acorn Crafts, ages 10 and up can paint a candle with wax. Apple cider heated over the fire. There's big scavenger hunt and more at Nature at the Confluence today on Dickup Street in South Beloit. Roscoe's Trunk or Treat is happening today from 3 till 6. That's at Porter Park. Food trucks, touch a truck, games, other activities. Porter Park on Windflower Road in Roscoe today from 3 until 6. Spook the Dells is at Severson Dells Nature Center tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. No reason to be afraid in the woods. This Halloween, come out to Severson Dells and learn about nocturnal animals. It's a very family-friendly event. They've got a paved path, interactive theater experience, and a whole lot more going on. $5 for members, $8 general admission. Severson Dells Nature Center is out on Montague Road in Rockford. And then finally, the final Food Truck Tuesday is this Tuesday. I was driving by this week thinking, because the last week the weather was terrible for it. This week would have been okay. But the final Food Truck Tuesday at Nicholas Conservatory and Gardens is this Tuesday, 4 to 9 p.m. All kinds of different food trucks down there at Nicholas Conservatory and Gardens. How about all that stuff, guys? Oh, and we had him on the show. We're going to have Lynn on again from Family Counseling Services. Saturday, November 18th, the annual Dancing with the Rockford Stars that supports Family Counseling Services. We'll have Lynn Momberger back on again to talk a little bit about that. I wasn't kidding, was I, guys? There's a lot
Don't
going on.
have anything to do.
There's no.
And it's my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, Carolyn.
Happy birthday, Carolyn.
And my friend Jen as well. Jenny. She is a dear friend of mine. It's her birthday as well. So
nice. Okay.
October has lots of birthdays.
Oh my God, yeah. From October 1st all the way to the very end, I think I know 15 people with birthdays.
My daughter-in-law's birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday to your
I
daughter-in-law.
have a nephew that's birthday was yesterday too.
Wow.
And I don't know if you consider your ex-daughter-in-law, but her birthday is today.
Well, that's okay. As long as you still get along, she's still your daughter-in-law.
Yep. That's what I say.
Yep, absolutely.
All the other random stuff I'm just going to skip for this week because we had 2 guests on this week and that was awesome. We just about filled our whole hour up and we're just about done. So before we wrap things up with the big number of the week, let's talk all things PAWS Humane Society. What's happening with our?
Oh, not too much. We do have an event coming up in October. The last Saturday of October, we're going to do an adoption event with our dogs.
Okay.
A little Halloween costume event with adoptable dogs from 10 to 1, I think. And Estrella, of course, is still waiting for her forever home. So, but they'll be dressed up and ready for adoption.
Halloween, October 28th from 10 to noon.
Oh, noon. I'm sorry.
Pre-approved applications will be honored first. Can be submitted starting October 21st. That's today. You can start submitting applications today.
Oh, okay. I thought, but it's October 28th.
October 28th. That's 1 week from today at the PAWS Humane Society. So there you go. There's your plug for next week's event. Halloween. I like the name.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
I think we have about 8 dogs.
Oh, for that event?
8 adoptable dogs. A lot of puppies.
Okay. There's also an adoption special going on right now for kittens, it looks like. Look at this here. We've got adults and teens 2-for-1 adoption fees. Kitten pairs $100 at PAWS Humane Society. As those who follow knows, we're overloaded with wonderful cats and kittens needing homes, so we're hoping this adoption promotion will help clear some space for those on our waiting list for intakes. Submit an application today to qualify for this promotion.
A lot of wonderful cats and kittens. We see them every week.
I can copy this and put this in the chat as well, the link for the available dogs and cats. Click on that link that's in the chat there right now. Okay. Awesome. And you're gonna send me a pet of the week here coming up.
Yep.
Do we want to focus on that cat? I'm assuming right now.
I haven't picked it yet.
Oh, should we pick one then?
We could.
What do you think? Can we pick one in the next couple of minutes?
Are we walking the walk?
I don't. If you want to, we can pick one real quick. I'm just wondering if we can get that. We haven't done it this way before, so I'm curious if we can do it this way.
What's that? Here's
a
cat here. Now, you remember last week? Well, I can't see him. It's a boy. Oh, he's another cat that ended up losing one of his eyes. He kind of still looks a little bit worse for wear. Last week in this cage, we had a little Persian. I think it was Persian. That was adopted. Your thing is in the way. I'm going to move this. There. So this is Chandler. I don't know. Never mind.
It's clear.
Sometimes I can't read their writing.
Chandelier.
I don't know.
Charles.
Chandler.
Let's reach out for some help, he says. I'll help you. Let's call him Charlie. You're always can change their name after you get them home. Hey, Charlie. One-eyed Jack, maybe.
Oh, geez. I like that.
We're looking for card players this week.
That's right. 2s, 3s, and one-eyed Jacks.
And we're still kind of low with our adoptions for dogs. That's why we're kind of hoping to get some Halloween. The cats are looking better.
There we go.
They say adoptions are slow this month. I don't know. People are too busy finding their Halloween costumes.
This is the week to do that, or maybe most people had theirs done already.
This is Xander. Yeah, he's talking to you.
Have we had Xander on as a pet of the week yet? I think we did.
I don't know. I think Xander's new. He's talking though.
Oh, he's a fluffy one. He's a big boy. I like that.
Xander. Oh. And this is, I think we've had Clarice. I always think of
Clarice has been around for a while, right? Because I think we were making jokes about
I
the
was
Silence of the
thinking that
Lambs.
as I pointed at her. This is
right.
Artie. And he had to have he's kind of sad back there. He's looking kind of angry at me. He had to have an tail amputation. So he had some injury. You know, people talk about, oh, my cat is fine outside. And there are problems that they get into. So we're already ended up with a bad tail that had to be amputated after an animal attack.
Now he's a Manx
There's
cat.
2 white cats in here. I don't know if you can see both of them, but the one's just got her head peeking out.
There we are.
I always say I've never had a white cat.
They're not real good in the snow. Yeah. Here, kitty cat. Oh, there you are.
Shadow
Couldn't see you there. Yeah.
Here's her community room. Sorry.
You should have someone just sponsor a camera to always be on in the community room.
Yeah, kind of like they they do with eggs hatching or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kitty
Call
cam.
it kitty cam.
I'll bring that up at the next board meeting.
The camera's always on. Just go to pawshs.org and there's the kitty cam.
And you can watch the cats. Oh, I think that's a great idea.
They're very. Who is this? This is again. Isis and Nick.
I like him.
Very playful. She's up in there with her ears back. She's like, I don't want to be on camera, please.
I haven't done my makeup yet.
Yeah.
I don't. They're both black cats. They said.
I'm in the feline witness protection.
I don't know.
program.
She's talking about something. I don't know what. They both have kind of white chins too. I don't know how they tell them apart. White on chest, but they both look like they have white on their chest.
Beautiful.
This is So there's some of our lovely cats. This is Tange. Tange. Yeah.
A tan cat named Angie. Tange.
Tange. My owner gave me away. Oh. He was adopted 3/2022, and he was found outside.
Oh no.
So someone, cats do get out though. You know, you can't blame the owners all the time. I mean, I have a
don't know.
problem with my cat's cat getting out because of needing to let dogs in and out, and they kind of walk.
Right.
They know when.
Right. I get it, but I think a lot of times it's like, come on, cat.
Yeah, but if they, some cats, I don't know, some cats just are hard to keep in. So that's kind of our quick tour for today.
There's our tour for the week, and we'll post our PAWS Pet of the Week coming up here in a little bit before we get too far away from the day here today. All right, we do have a big number of the week. Let's see if I can find the button for that right. Yes. Our current race to 10 has a tie score. Goose egg to goose egg.
Is it still 0-0?
It's 0-0. And this week's big number of the week is 2,749. And the answer is California or collection.
I have more pennies in my jar than that number.
Is that okay? Well, Tom's made his guess already, Joann, so you can give me yours now. California or collection? 3, 2, 1 to go.
I'm gonna go with California.
You're gonna go with California, which is odd enough because
That's what Tom did too.
Tom went for California as
my
well.
gosh.
There's a new world record, ladies and gentlemen, for world's heaviest pumpkin. Congratulations to Travis Geinger. He's a horticultural teacher from Anoka, Minnesota. He won the 50th World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off, which takes place in Half Moon Bay, California. 2,749 pounds for the new world's heaviest pumpkin. He won a $30,000 prize.
So at least we're tied again by 1-1.
It's one.
That's right. I got 1 point, Joann. Oh wait, so do you.
Let's go right here real quick. Like I've been going editing on the fly today like a pro, like a Restream pro. Look at that.
Wow, like you've been
1
doing
to
this
1.
for 2 years.
By the way, you can make about 687 pumpkin pies with that one pumpkin.
You know, you didn't mention, but Valley Orchard is also having a festival today.
Valley Orchard. Cherry Valley?
In Cherry Valley.
Oh, the apple orchard. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that one. There's so much.
And they have, it's kind of fun because all of Cherry Valley has a scarecrow contest. So there's scarecrows to look at. We were down there yesterday.
Right.
Okay, I've got a really dumb question. Joann, you can probably help me with this. I don't know if Greg can. Pumpkin pies. You cut it out, you carve it out, you take out all the guts and the weird slimy stuff and the seeds. That doesn't make a pumpkin pie. Is it the rest? It's the rest of the pumpkin that makes a pumpkin pie?
No, you don't. You have to.
The rind? Is that what it is? The orangey part?
You bake it, and then you have to take it off the rind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's the orangey part, kind of like a watermelon. You don't eat the rind, you eat the red part in between.
They also
I love pumpkin pie, but
that's the easy part.
Yeah, there you go.
Let somebody else do.
Yeah, that's what I would. No, I just go to Walmart or wherever and I buy.
Do not make the best pumpkin pie. I think it's the smaller pumpkins make better pumpkin pie.
I think Walmart or Meijer makes a good pumpkin
We
pie.
always
I'll
get
just
mango
go there
huge
and
ones
get
from
one.
Costco.
There's a lot of Cool Whip.
Yeah,
Those are good too. Those are humongous.
Last Thanksgiving
I actually
from your place.
Oh, killer. Well,
that's our spot. Hey, the collection, by the way, the collection story in Seattle, Charlotte Lee started in 1996 to decorate her bathroom with 7 rubber duckies. That was her plan, just 7 rubber duckies. Well, now today, her collection contains over 5,600 rubber duckies. That was almost our big number of the week this week. Again, the 5K for the Veterans Drop-In Center is coming up on November 4th. So you got a couple weeks yet to get that registered. If you don't want to run or walk and you can volunteer, they could use your help that way. Contact the Veterans Drop-In Center of Rockford and let them know, yeah, sure, I would be glad to help you. And then, of course, INCROWD is coming up this Thursday. The INCROWD this month is meeting at Flanders Insurance over there on Lyford Road. It still feels like it's kind of in the country, even though it's between the hospital and the building of the casino. There's not a lot of stuff out there yet, but there will be.
But I was talking about 1980 when it opened on Lyford Road. Back then, there was nothing. No. There was absolutely nothing, and there still isn't a lot, but give it time. We're slowly engulfing Belvedere.
Tonight is also the red carpet premiere of Prelude to Life. Congrats to Yash. He's been getting all kinds of media attention this week. I think it's because he was on our podcast. That's at the Nordlof Center. I believe it's already sold out, but it's going to be a lot of activity going on there tonight for that release of his film. So congratulations to him on that. I think that's it. I think that's everything. Right. Friends, you survived another Saturday morning State Line show. Thank you for that. Remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here next week for another Saturday morning State Line show. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye-bye.
We're not sticking around for football talk?
For some football talk.
Oh, good. Whew, I got to get my fill. Bye, Joann. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
All right. Design. Packer logo. Bump, bump. I don't have a theme song for it. I could change the song maybe and just go like this. Will it load? Come on. Give me a little. Come on. I switched the music and now it's not even playing. I don't know. Nah.
Is it on mute?
We're not on mute. The Green Bay Packers. What are they right now? 2-3?
There we are. 2-3. Very disappointing. 2-3. I figured it out. They could be 4-1. Yeah. Here's the deal. And Detroit could be 4-2 and should be 4-2 if a couple things would have happened. Number one, if Kansas City beats Detroit week 1, and they should have. Detroit got handed that victory. Patrick Mahomes throwing to Kadarius Toney. He just drops it. And then a fumble, not a fumble. It was a pick six, but it bounced off Kadarius Toney's hands. Oh, my God. And I also would have won my fantasy game, by the way. That's just a side note. So Detroit could legitimately and should be 4-2. Green Bay should also be 4-1. They've had the bye, so they're one game shorter, half a game, whatever. One game. But anyway, the Atlanta game, they should not have lost. And the Raiders game, they should not have lost. And I'm not going to waste any time getting into why they should have or could have or whatever. But then again, the New Orleans game, they shouldn't have won. So I think they legitimately should be 3-2. That's what I think. So that's only a one-game difference. It's okay. 2-3.
You are what your record shows. Indicates. They go to Denver to play these woeful Broncos, which everyone thought with Sean Payton coming out of retirement to coach them, and with Russell Wilson now with a coach. Does he get along with him or not? I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
I don't think they get along at all. I think Russell Wilson's gone after this year, and I think he's benched week 10, week 11, and they may find their quarterback on the bench right now. They may find him, almost like a Brock Purdy or I don't know. The list goes on. You've got several quarterbacks over the years that have come in. Kurt Warner is a perfect example. Trent Green goes down in 1999 season. And Kurt Warner comes in and wins a Super Bowl in his rookie year. By the way, you know where Kurt Warner was drafted?
By the Green Bay Packers, I believe.
No,
Packers roster
no.
At one point.
He was never drafted. He was never drafted. He went undrafted. He did join the Packers. Packers at one point had Brett Favre, Ty Detmer, Mark Brunell, Kurt Warner on their staff opening preseason camp with those amazing. Four. Wow. Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. Anyway, so they talk about Brock Purdy being Mr. Irrelevant. I'm so tired of hearing about that. He got drafted. So he was the last player picked. That's Mr. Irrelevant. Kurt Warner never got picked. There are so many NFL players, standouts, stars that never got picked. So forget that argument. I'm tired of hearing about it.
I think, if the Packers lose to the Broncos, There's already people calling for Matt LaFleur to be fired. There's already people calling for Jordan Love to be benched. It's like, don't you pay attention? This is not the year for the Packers to go and make waves in the playoffs. This is a I know it's not a rebuilding year per se, but it is a resetting year with letting go of Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love is good. Maybe he won't be great, but he is good. And Aaron Jones is hurt. He's basically your star veteran now, and he's hurt. So
if you don't have a running game, all these teams, such as Aiden Hutchinson, Max Crosby, I talked about him a couple of weeks ago. I said, watch out for Max Crosby. And guess what? He was the difference maker in the game. Those two, because if you don't have a running game, they can key on the pass. And Jordan Love, as good as he is, he only had 2.4 seconds to throw the ball every single down. That was the average. He'd get the ball in 1,001 without, whoa, I got to throw it. And if you throw it errantly and it bounces and it gets intercepted or whatever, you can't win football games like that. So the Packers' biggest mistake is not shoring up their running game. Yes, you got Aaron Jones. Yes, you got A.J. Dillon. But what happens
they got a
if
young
one of
man
them gets
James
injured?
now. James Robinson.
James
Former
Robinson,
Rockford Lutheran Crusader is now
covered some of his games. Matt Nestor and I covered. We sat on the sidelines and we were at a game where James Robinson scored, I think, 7 touchdowns.
The best.
It was absolutely unbelievable.
Most of us have ever seen.
And yes, and he sat the entire fourth quarter. He could have had 8 or 9 touchdowns, and I think he might have set the IHSA record.
He's on the practice squad now for Green Bay, and they let Taylor go. I think they let
Patrick Taylor. They did a couple of weeks ago.
So
yeah, after the Raiders game, they let him go. That's fine. That's fine. They got that Emmanuel Wilson. He's pretty good. But he's a rookie. And if he's really, really that good, maybe he would have been in there a little sooner. Maybe he's not quite as good as I think. But James Robinson, I'm happy with that. I hope he
gets a shot.
Good out of the backfield.
I hope he gets
a shot. Yeah. So the answer to the Packers right now, it's not hard to define. It's not Matt LaFleur's fault. It's not James Robinson.
No.
Jordan Love's fault. It's not. If anything, it is maybe they underdrafted and they didn't shore up that line enough. Bakhtiari has been a rumor for the last 2 years. Elton Jenkins is still injured. They've got 2/5 of a line right now. You're mixing and matching and filling in holes like the boy with his finger on the dike.
There.
So you've got a tough road to hoe if you're trying to stave off defensive linemen and an occasional blitz. You can't do it with that line. So then maybe Matt LaFleur needs to get a little more innovative. Now, the Bears don't have a great defensive line, but what they did against the Bears with the bubble screens and everything else was phenomenal. Go back to that. Get rid of the ball quickly. Slants, bubble screens. A lot of different things can be done. Maybe even an occasional flea flicker, which stops the defensive line. You think the running back's going to run, you key in, flip it back. You got a guy wide open. Christian Watson has proven he can get open. Romeo Doubs can get open. Romeo Doubs reminds me a lot of Randall Cobb. He's a good possession receiver, although he's missing some balls right off his hands. So they've got a young receiving core. So they've got a. I want to see Luke Musgrave.
Youngest, tallest, and fastest players in the NFC for sure, if not the whole league, are on the Green Bay Packers, but they got to get them healthy and get them trained up.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because you can be the youngest, tallest, fast. You can be all of that. But if your record's 2-3, then it speaks for itself. I expect a win this weekend. I expect a win tomorrow. And I think they'll win fairly convincingly. And I think this is a bounce back game for Green Bay. And almost like they're righting the ship. And once they do that, we're back, baby. 3-3. Not going to win the division. Not going to win the division. I think Detroit is for real, and they're better than what I thought they were, and maybe they are a better coach than what I thought they were. I still think Dan Campbell
cannon, but he's
kind of a bit of a loose cannon, but I think he's going to blow some games. I think what you're going to see is the Dan Campbell problem in the playoffs. Not so much in the regular season. You're going to see it in the playoffs because they're going to take care of business against teams like Tampa, like teams like the Raiders, the Broncos, the Browns, whatever. They're going to take care of business with teams like that. But once you get up into the upper echelon, the second season, as we call it, the playoffs, you're going to see him out-coached and outmanned and outgunned and whatever. And Jared Goff is pretty good, but, he'll meet his match as well. So I predict Detroit's going to go 12-5. I think Green Bay's probably going to go 10-7, maybe get a wild card. Minnesota might win 6 or 7 games, and the Bears are probably going to win 3 or 4.
I'm going to pull for a 32-12 victory for the Packers this Sunday.
What do you got? 2-2 in your pool,
I'm
or
just
what?
trying to think of something odd score, but the Denver's not scoring much at all. Something goofy, something like a 32-12. Has there ever been a 32-12 score in the NFL? Maybe not.
Oh, absolutely. There's only a couple of scores. In fact, that's a great question. There's been a 32-12. I can almost guarantee it. But there are a couple of weird scores like 12-11. A 12-11 game. I don't think there's ever been
feasible,
a 12-11.
But yeah.
Maybe even 11-8 or 11-9 or something like that. But
Browns game or something like that. 12-11.
Oh yeah. I remember games like that. I remember a game where Ravens, Justin Tucker, the greatest kicker in the history of the NFL, all field goals, 24 points, all field goals, and they won it like 24-17 or something. Oh yeah, a few touchdowns. Must have been a good game. No, all field goals. And if you got him on your fantasy team and he's the king of 50-yarder plus, you would have scored about 30 points.
So good
with him.
All righty, buddy. Yeah. Well, hopefully, I know you got stuff going on Thursday, but if you get a chance to pop over, Flanders Insurance is the place for INCROWD.
No, I won't. I got my Halloween trivia going, and that's going to be quite the event. I could have 100 people there. That could be crazy.
We'll see how things go for the week. All right, buddy. Go Pack, go, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, if not before, I'll probably text you something during the week, especially if the Packers win.
All right, man. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.